Welcome everyone to the first Knowledge Cafe for the KIX EAP SAMENA region, SAMENA Sub-Region. And I would like to welcome my fellow colleagues from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Yemen, who have joined, and Egypt, who have joined. And I would like very briefly to tell you more about the idea of the cafe, is to have a relaxed, informal platform where we would share our news, know about the work of each other, know about the available opportunities, available funding mechanisms, get together, form consortiums, and apply together for grants and for projects, proposals, and then maybe recommend some other important activities and have a common platform for discussion in general. Now we're going to have a very quick snapshots about different projects taking place into the sub-region. Today, we're going to hear from South Asia about the DARE project in Pakistan and about another project from Bangladesh. And we're going to hear from our colleague in Sudan into this state of emergency. Did they manage to open schools or not yet? So stay with us. And I would start with the calling for the contribution and from Dr. Sajid Ali from Aga Khan University, who's going to tell us about his interesting project. Dr. Sajid, please.
Hi, so I'll share very informally because the whole purpose of this is to go informal and make it into a discussion thing. So whenever you don't understand anything, any abbreviation that I use, you can just simply interrupt me and I'll try and explain. So DARE, D-A-R-E, is a short form of Data and Research in Education. It's a project in Pakistan that is commissioned by FCDO, Foreign and Commonwealth Office Office of Development. I think it's the new version of the DFID. Well, first of all, hello and assalamu alaikum and good afternoon and evening to everyone. I just saw Brother Akram and she reminded me of our days spent in Maldives. So, and I also saw Sumera earlier and we had nice memories of our time there. So very good to see you, and maybe we'll see others when we see next. I think with Professor Zina and some others, we had been in connection for a GPE grant that we wrote very briefly. So very good to see you. My name is Sajid. I work at Aga Khan University Institute for Educational Development. I'm an associate professor there and very happy and very pleased to be part of this GPE KIX, which is kind of an accidental discovery for me earlier because the KIX launch is Learning Cycle 4, where I wanted to participate because I teach in the area of education policy. And the Learning Cycle 4 was about conducting and using the IIP, UNESCO's framework for learning policy. So that's where I started. I just came to know about it accidentally. I applied for it. The next thing I know, I started negotiating with Professor Rasha about the team, whether I can be merged into team and all those kind of things. I think it just from there onward was a snowball, and one activity after another activity, and too many things are happening. And I'm very pleased, and I liked the South-South connection. So that's where I am. And you can see my commitment today. We have a public holiday in Pakistan, and I'm here in this group. Now coming back to DARE. DARE is Data and Research in Education. And it's an FCDO, which is the new name of DFID, Department for International Development, UK government. FCDO has been working in Pakistan to improve data and its use in policy decisions. DARE has two arms. One is the data arm, and the second one is the research consortium. I am part of the research consortium in depth. So let me explain the data arm, and then I will explain you the research consortium arm, and you can have your cup of tea. So the data arm of there is what it tries to do is Pakistan is divided into 4 provinces and 2 area governments, so 6 regions. Each region collects its data about basic statistics of education. We call it EMIS system, Educational Management Information System, and it's been there for since 1990. And the data is then synchronized at the federal level and then reported back to MDGs, now SDGs, and UNESCO and other institutes for the data compilation. But over the years, there has been some challenges in terms of synchronizing data at the federal level because certain provinces collect information differently. So a little bit difference in terms of who to be included in primary and who to be included in secondary, whether the secondary should start at grade 6 or 5, whether the early childhood should start from grade K1 or K2, and different provinces have different ways of doing that. So their data arm is trying to create that synchronization between the provinces and the federal government. And they call it the vertical synchronization, vertical synchronization. Then they are also working on the horizontal synchronization. And the horizontal synchronization means that the data, even within the government department, is gathered by its various arms. So the EMIS collects information about schools enrollment, about institutions, number of teachers, their qualification, the physical facilities of schools and enrollment, those kinds of data. But then there are also data gathered about the HRMIS, Human Resource Management System, that gathers data about the teachers' deployment, teachers' experience, availability, transfers, postings. And likewise, there is data, a separate data is gathered for girls' stipend program, separate data for some other project-related activities. So they are trying to synchronize data horizontally within the provinces, so that not only it's collecting basic information. So, for example, learning data is collected by a different arm. The human resource data is collected by a different arm. The project data is gathered by a different arm. Basic school data is collected by a different arm. Private school data is connected by a different arm. So create that horizontal synchronization. So this is what the DARE data arm is trying to do. Now, the second arm of this data, DARE, is called Research Consortium. And the Research Consortium is trying to do almost similar thing what KIX tried to do, which is to carry out research and enable the capacities of the producers of research and the users of research, so that more data, evidence, knowledge is used in informing policies. The Research Consortium has one arm which is right now working, and hopefully soon it will launch a call for proposals for the national producers. So, for example, universities, colleagues would be able to apply to that. The think tanks that are working in Pakistan, they can be able to apply to that. So far, they haven't said that the international people cannot apply, but so maybe when the call comes in, I'll share it with you, and you can check whether international colleagues are able to do that or not. The other possibility that we can check is sometimes we can just pool in our resources. So maybe someone from Pakistan could become the PI from here, so that they can apply, but they can also pool in resources who are available, the colleagues who are working in KIX from other regions, maybe a comparative study. So there are possibilities, but you can just see probably the call might come somewhere around December or January. It will focus on the key theme of learning foundational literacy, math, science education, as well as policy and leadership. So something on those lines. The second part of the research consortium there is working on building the capacity of the producers and users of research. Now, by producer, we mean the research which is produced at universities, the research which is produced by think tanks, by independent consultants, organizations, and building their capacity in terms of not the methodological capacity only, but how to convert that knowledge into a policy product, which is also something that KIX aim. The other part of policy strengthening is about the users of data. So how can the decision makers can access information that they need, can call for information that they should, and so improving their capacity, the decision makers' capacity to utilize data, utilize research, and also ask for some kind of research that can help them make better decisions. So this is the research consortium arm of the DARE. And then there are some other character, but essentially these are the two. I should stop here. And if people have other questions and concerns, or they want further query, they have further query, they can ask me. Thank you. Over to you, Rasha.
Thank you very much. And of course, yeah, it has been very helpful, the input that you've been giving. And we really wish that from the floor, there could be some questions. I know that the other presentation and the other talk from Bangladesh would also focus on data. So it's going to be very interesting to know also another perspective of dealing with data, which is, by the way, one of the priority areas that we're working on. So that's really very interesting, is to have the talk about that.
Just one thing, I'm also involved in that DARE project as the lead for the capacity building.
Excellent.
Co-lead.
Excellent. Yeah. So now let us open the floor if anyone would have any questions for Dr. Sajid Ali from Aga Khan University about the DARE project. And he is, of course, our wonderful KIX EMAP National Coordinator for Pakistan. So any questions? Any comments? Dr. Zaina, please.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sajid Ali. And from very beginning, when I tried to join and get scope for joining such kind of webinar or knowledge mobilization activities, I observed Dr. Sajid Ali as a very active scholars, and his discussions or questions on different events shows he's very committed and very knowledgeable as well as expert in his areas. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Sajid Ali, for sharing your plan and activities. It is not direct question, just I would like to learn that both quantitative and qualitative approach, both you are applying in your case or in your project. Thank you so much.
Yes, but I do not claim expertise in quantitative research. I have respect for quantitative research, but mainly so in the beginning of my career, I did some quantitative research. I can understand bits of it. I have used the basic surveys and those kinds of things, but to claim whether I am a quantitative expert, I refrain from that, because otherwise people will start very complicated questions and I have no response to them. So what I generally do is one of my colleagues, and she is very good at quantitative research. My own PhD student, who's co-supervised by my other colleague for quantitative methodology, working in the area of higher education. So I give him the intellectual input as well as qualitative and policy input, and she gives him quantitative. So yes, I use both methods, but not as an expert. I have more expertise in qualitative and policy and documentary analysis and those kinds of methods, but less in quantitative. But for the DARE research, it encourages both qualitative and quantitative, and mixed method for sure.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks for your appreciation. I think we will learn a lot from you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And now maybe it's time to fasten our seatbelt and move from Pakistan to Bangladesh and visit Dhaka University and listen to Dr. Muhammad Zina from Dhaka University to tell us more about his wonderful project. Dr. Zina, please.
Thank you. And thank you, Professor Dr. Rasha Sharaf. And good afternoon from here in Dhaka. I am very much delighted to have a great opportunity to share our project experience briefly with all my distinguished audience. And also I welcome to all of my colleagues, participants from Pakistan, Yemen, and from Sudan also, including my colleagues in Bangladesh. So I am Muhammad Ali Jinnah. I have been teaching at the Institute of Education and Research, University of Dhaka since 1996, just after completion of my student life. And currently I have been working as a coordinator of an international collaborative project. This title of this project, Impact of Gender and Inclusive Pedagogies on Students' Participation and Learning Achievement at Secondary Level during Pandemic and Beyond. You know, the pandemic has influenced our every sphere of life, including our education across the global. And there is data that the schools in Bangladesh remain closed for the most long time. And at that time, the project from IDRC has been offered, and we took this opportunity, how we can develop such an approach that would able to our students to continue their education during any pandemic, any emergency, and after the normal period. So based on these ideas, we developed our project on the basis of 4 good practices of 4 countries under our consortium. These countries is Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Vietnam, and Timor-Leste. In fact, we include Timor-Leste just after primary selection from the IDRC. The project activities are, this is a co-designed experimental study, and we have also both experimental groups as well as our control groups in 5 country context. The 40 schools we have selected as control schools and 40 experimental schools in our 4 country context. And in Bangladesh, the Institute of Education and Research as a lead institute has been leading this project. So we have 40 experimental schools and 40 control schools. First of all, we formed our committee, internal project committee, that is IDRC GP KIX committee, in our academic counseling committee, maintaining all the formalities and criteria of university, locally and globally, that is IDRC policy. And also we form our consortium. That was very challenging as we have no enough time, as any of our colleagues who would like to apply for grants and implement any educational project in their country context or regional context, they have also should follow this process and to put emphasis on the focus of the IDRC. So that would be the one major positive sides for getting approval for considering their funds and as well as the IDRC and GP KIX projects support. After selection, we started our activities on first May 2021, and now we are at the end of our project period. However, the IDRC and GP KIX, with the support of GP KIX and IDRC, they have extended our project period for next 13 months. And in this occasion, we also convey our sincere thanks to all personnel concerned with GP KIX as well as IDRC, IDRC Canada. In doing this work, we also got some our very that is our a great achievement, like getting the connection as well as have to be connected with very enlightened persons. Rasha is one of them, and as Sajid, our brother Sajid, is also a very committed educationist. So it is, I think, this kind of, as it is a first South Asia, Middle East, and North Africa Knowledge Cafe, the first webinar. Hopefully this will be continued and will be closer, will come closer each other, and hopefully this platform will also give us more opportunity to work together with all other colleagues, participants, when it is possible or match with our similar objectives. So I am going back to my project. For conducting our project, first of all, we conduct a baseline study, and at the same time, we develop our intended training manuals for 4 years training as we have planned. Our plan was we'll provide professional development to our teachers, and through this professional development training, we'll try to enhance our students' participation who are in dropout situation, as well as who participates, who comes to school, but due to their gender disparity or any other socio-economic or other problems like disabilities, do not participate exactly or remain such kind of reluctant in their classroom teaching learning activities. So we have some, we have data, this kind of participation of students teaching learning in 4 or 5 country contexts. So we put emphasis on those particular 2 aspects: students' participation in teaching learning and their learning achievements through professional development intervention packages that we developed, and we provided teachers, our teachers from experimental schools in 4 tiers. We took 1 to 2 months before and after every intervention, and in this period, middle period, we provided them guidance, monitoring their activities, and provided them pedagogical support, online, offline, in blended approach. After that, we conduct midline study, and then finally we conduct endline study. Now we are analyzing our endline study data, and we received primarily from our 3 partner teams, including Bangladesh. This kind of data focuses on students' participation significantly, as well as students' learning achievement. We also conducted in our study pre-test, post-test, as well as students' achievement test. Both quantitative and qualitative data we collected from our stakeholders, mainly from our students, our teachers, and then from head teachers or school leaders, as well as our parents. So now the data that is in our hand in analytical mode, those show significant changes in students' participation as well as students' learning achievement. This is project's achievement, but in doing those, that was not intended for our project's achievement as our project's achievement. We believe this is more significant. That is, the project has changed, has hit that the point that is the inertia of boys and girl students to talk with each other, to work together, to do group activities or planned activities, taking project activities. It's because of various socio-cultural, religious stigma, because of or superstition. And this was the social culture and norms in most of our partner teams. Boys will sit another place, girls will sit another place. They feel shyness to talk together and work together. It was from our, now they are very much friendly to each other. They do work together. They not only do classroom teaching learning together, but also participates in school and co-curricular activities. Our parents, our head teachers, and our community peoples also supports it. That was their initially, that was one of their observation, because what we are doing with their daughters and sons. Now, for bringing this type of changes, the team, all the members, including Dr. Shumira Hassan, who is now present here, we moved, we visited the schools again and again. We conducted meeting with parents, with teachers, with community peoples to make them comprehend that this is necessary for our new teaching strategies that is now exercising across the world mostly. Another thing, we have able to develop our teachers' confidence. And this project has brought a significant change in teachers' attitude. This is, we think, the most important achievement in our school teachers. That is now they are continuing it. That they are now confident, and they shows any kind of challenges now we can solve with such type of our pedagogical practices. Most important thing that is the collaboration among the teachers. The teachers taught isolatedly. They did not talk professionally, and didn't. Most of the teachers were busy with their own classroom teaching learning. They do not exchange their problems or their potentials, them which may enhance both all teachers' teaching learning. After conducting meeting with all of the teachers in our experimental schools, now most of the teachers feel each other and take help or suggestions for improving their teaching learning. So hopefully we'll able to submit our all reports in our websites, as well as we'll share our final findings in this kind of platforms. And we have also some challenges. We have experiences regarding our project implementation and project knowledge collaboration. This challenge will be remain, but through action research, as our teachers now are able, most of the teachers able to conduct their classroom teaching learning solution, and the experiences, challenges, issues, now it has developed our confidence at the same time that we will be able to conduct any kind of projects funded or supported by the GP KIX and the IDRC. So thank you very much for, maybe I have taken enough time, and thank you very much, Dr. Rasha, for giving me the opportunity.
Professor Zina, thank you for giving an elaborate information about your project, and I appreciate if there is like a link to the project and to the video and the documentation. It would be very helpful if you can paste that into the chat. And as well, Dr. Sajid, if there is a link that you want to share with us about your project where we can read more. I would later on ask now Mr. Akram Abbas from Sudan to give us his intervention and talk about education in Sudan. Has they managed to open schools yet or not? And other important information. But before that, I would really like to share with you a link for a GPE KIX symposium that is going to take place online. And of course, you know that there would be very soon a call for grants. And it will be, I think, of an interest to all of you to attend the GPE KIX symposium. It's not organized by KIX EMAP, but it's going to be organized by GPE and KIX. So that is the link. I think just a minute, I would be pasting the link for this here. Yes. So, okay. It's here. Okay, great.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Now we are flying from South Asia to the Middle East to North Africa and going to Sudan. And I would like to welcome my dear colleague, Mr. Akram Abbas, who is the GPE, the KIX EMAP National Coordinator for Sudan, to tell us more about education in Sudan in the state of emergency. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Ashan. Also, I'm so pleased that today that I see all of you. At least if it's virtual, but I think it's a good moment for me even to just to be engaged in this coffee chat, and also just to see all of you around the meeting. So yeah, I think it's as I mentioned, I think before in the launching meeting that right now the education in Sudan is passing a very critical time, and I think that's all of you may know that what is ongoing in Sudan, and specifically in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan. So the situation right now, and this is, I think it's a political issue. I don't want to go on it, but it's for sure has some reflections on the situation of the education in Sudan. So unfortunately, the conflict came at the end of the calendar. So before even the students going to the final examination. So, and just like 1 month before, we expect that to end the calendar in May. That's also just to put you in account that even this from 2020, even before that, from 2019, we have a problem with the stability of the calendar, and that's because of even the political events took place, and some of them are continued until reaching the moment of the war. So we faced the first problem that in 2019, the political instability also came in the same time, in April. I don't know what's the problem of Sudan with April, but in April 2019, we faced the same problem with the political instability. And then also it's before the closure of the year, the closure of the calendar. And accordingly, the Ministry of Education decided to postpone a bit. And then when the calendar should be open in July, at that time still the instability was ongoing, so they decided to postpone it to September. So we lost 2 months in between the calendar. So then we start normally in September 2019, and then after this we face the problem all of the people around the world they were facing the problem of the COVID-19, the pandemic. So and then 2020 continue, then we face another problem in 2022 for some times, and then we reached the point of 2023 with the conflict, ongoing conflict until right now. So that's put a lot of burden on the education system in Sudan, and for sure, all of these facts, in a way, are influencing the learning outcomes in different stages of the education system in Sudan. So accordingly, that the Ministry of Education started after 2019, started to do two paths, for sure. They were going concurrently to do like a contingency plan just to catch up the damage that has been resulted according to the political situation, and at the same time to think about the reform of the education system in Sudan. And as I mentioned before, that KIX came on time just to support us in this path, the reform of the education system in Sudan. So this is on hand. On the other hand, that also just to give like a brief background about the education system in Sudan, this is I think maybe will bring all us together to think about the real problem right now and the critical path that we are passing through. So already we have a number of dropout of schools because of many reasons in Sudan. So just to put in your consideration that according to the last census, that population census done in Sudan is in 2008, which is that figure out that like 48.4 of the Sudanese population are child. So it means all of them, they are in the age of education, the basic education. So with the nearest projection, that because from that time we didn't have like any kind of population census, we did the projection in 2018, and we found that we reached, in terms of this age, the age of education, we terms that 50.6% of the population of Sudan already those people there in the education age. It means that the half of the population of the Sudan they should be enrolled in this school. Among those, until 2018, and the total of the population of Sudan right now is the projection is not accurate numbers, is 42 million. So it means half of those people, they should be in the school. Unfortunately, according to this projection, we have more than 3.6 million child, those outside the school, those drop out of the education system. That's in also the other already in the school, they are not in the appropriate system. It means the quality of education is very good. Just like numbers, yeah, for sure. They are as numbers, they are in school, but some of them they are studying in the open space. They don't have classrooms. They don't have a proper teachers. It means that we are using
now. Excuse my intervention, but now all the schools in Sudan are still closed.
Yeah, it's still closed. This is I will conclude by the solution right now. The people that start to do it with UNICEF, with the other actors that are working. So in terms of the division of the country, in terms of the political system in this country, we have 18 states. So that divided to 18 states ruled by the decentralization system. It means that each state has its own plan for the education. So some of those states, they are post-conflict states or still under conflict. So those people, those children, they should go for the school and just to study on the open space under the sun, and they don't have appropriate teachers. Yes, we have what we call it, between two brackets, volunteers. So they didn't get before any kind of job training or in-job training for the teaching, and this is a problem. This is also, you can add it to the other problem. I think normally right now all of these problems are come to your mind, like the textbook, the curriculum, the information management system, all of the things that's like this. So unfortunately, we succeed a bit to survive within all of these kind of problems. But right now, it's the problem that And also this is referred to the discussion of today, that already we have a lack of that data. So our information management system is not working well because of all of these causes on the ground. And at the same time that the efficiency of the system, it needs some sort of political stability and political will as well. So because of this, we don't have this kind of characteristic of full information management system for the education sector. So we try with Dr. Rasha, and thanks for her many times, just to focus on this. We just from the day one in KIX, through the KIX activities, we focus on those 2 points, and we had a lot of discussion with Dr. Rasha. Just this is the 2 main weaknesses of the, at least the main 2 weaknesses of the education system in Sudan, and we should focus a bit on them just to collect like experience, to do like learning from the other experience of the country. And already we proposed something to do it together with Bangladesh, but unfortunately the war came over our heads and we didn't do it. Moreover, the policy. To have a policy, yes, can constitute all of these processes, the diversity, even context within Sudan, and to see what kind of policy solutions can even contain all of these problems. So in this moment, we don't have any kind of school open over the Sudan. It's the problem. So the other problem that many families, they left Sudan already. I think if you check the last report of the IOM and the UNHCR, that I think 5 million Sudanese people already, they left Sudan. Okay, some of them in Chad, some of them in Egypt, some of them in other neighbor countries. So those people already, right now, you consider them as refugees. All of those families, they left Sudan, accompanied with child, already they stopped their learning process on the middle. They didn't finish even their schools. So, and then there are 3 million others, those like IDPs. Those they left Khartoum to other neighbor states. So right now, the government in Sudan using most of the schools as shelters, as a gathering points for the people already they left Khartoum to the other states. So even the possibility of back to school in this situation is very difficult, not just only because of the war, but also because of the infrastructure and the availability of the teachers, because of some of those teachers, they left Sudan already. And on the other hand, they didn't get their salaries since April until right now. No any salaries for the government staff, not only the teacher, all of the people, they didn't get their salaries until right now. So the capacity to move on this kind of situation, it's a little bit challenging. So the last meeting of the leg decided to have this kind of modality of having the e-learning platform, and at least this can be survive a bit. For sure, cannot solve all of the problem, but at least you can have a group of survivors where they can get accessibility to the internet, to the learning. And already this is starting in 4 states, right in Sudan, right now in Sudan. And this is, I think, also it's a very narrow, very narrow number of people that they will get. So 4 states right now, with the support of UNICEF and one of the national NGO working together with the Ministry of Education, they succeed to maintain the platform. And some of the people already they start to do. This is it as a part, but the other part that right now is this plan also supported by UNICEF to back to school. So at least with the other UN agencies to find solutions for the IDPs and to find alternative shelters and gathering point for them. So this can make a little bit the people get back to the schools. So this is maybe will take some time because this needs a lot of arrangements before, needs funds for sure, needs the capacity of the UN to do such exercise. So I think this is right now the main challenges in Sudan. So, and this is for sure will affect everything and will result immediately on the increase above the dropout of schools. Keeping your mind that in Sudan we have a social norms. Also, it's a big challenge in Sudan. We have this kind of child marriage. specifically for girls. So I
Unfortunately.
think without having any kind of statistic that in the different state of Sudan, already we lost a lot of girls that they will be enforced to get married because of the economic situation and the conflict. So I know it's a very dramatical picture, and also it's a very very sad what I was saying. But this is the reality. We should face the reality. So we were thinking before, and I think we'll continue thinking with KIX, with Dr. Rasha and with Jose also as well, to see the possibility of having like a pass to support the Ministry of Education. The good news among all of these bad news that the Global Partnership for Education dedicate some money to Sudan to consider the education in Sudan education in emergency. And the good part of this money that went to the World Bank in Sudan, they start to do a new modality of community resilience for education, which is, it means that they will start working with the community to honor the process, since right now we have this lack of governance process and also the absence of the government because of this. So hopefully this will solve the problem, but this kind of solutions, it's a long-term solutions, will not be like a contingency solutions. So that's all what is ongoing in Sudan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Akram, for giving us this overview. It's a sad story, of course, but I'm sure that there would be a way to compensate education loss that those poor children have experienced during the time of conflict. Before it's really a wonderful chance that to hear from all of you about the wonderful things that you're working on. And I would like, if you in the chat, you can share your name, your title, and your email, so as people can get to know each other and communicate with each other beyond this one hour slot of the Knowledge Cafe. And I would really ask you to mark your calendar for the next Knowledge Cafe. It's fixed, but there was a request that this Knowledge Cafe would be moved 1 hour earlier than this. So would it be possible is to start at 5 p.m. Dhaka time instead of 6 p.m. Dhaka time, to start 1 p.m. Cairo time instead of 2 p.m. Cairo time, and Khartoum time as well? Would this be possible? To start at 2 p.m. rather than 3 p.m. Aden time. So if you agree, you just write yes in the chat to change the time for 1 hour earlier. So, okay, a yes from Sudan. هل في اليمن عندهم مانع and yes from Pakistan. هل في اليمن عندهم مانع انه اللقاء يبقى ساعة بدري، يبقى الساعة 2 بدل 3 بتوقيت عدن؟ Okay, very good. Yes from Bangladesh. Thank you very much. All right, so we would adjust the timing for 1 hour earlier. Thank you, Dr. Sajid, for sharing your emails. Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel Haq, for sharing your emails. Thank you, everyone. And I would take advantage of the last 2 minutes of the meeting of today to thank the contributions from Dr. Sajid Ali, Al Khan University, from Dr. Muhammad Zina from Dhaka University, and from Mr. Akram Abbas from Sudan. And next time would be having other wonderful news. There would be information from Egypt, from Morocco, from Tunisia, from Bangladesh, and we'd have interesting ideas about future collaborations on projects. So if you're looking to apply for the next forthcoming KIX grants and you're looking for partners, you can have this call here where you can find people from different countries. All right. Thank you, Dr. Marwa Omar, for being here, and it's really a pleasure having you around.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for organizing this.
Thank you.
I think this is growing to becoming a useful platform.
And looking forward to the
so much. Thank you so much.
Knowledge Cafe. And
Thank you,
don't forget,
it's a
don't
great
forget
idea.
your coffee then.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a great idea. Thank you very much, Dr. Rashid. It's a great
Thank you
idea.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a great
And
idea.
together we're strong. Thank you, Samira. Thank you very
Indeed.
much.
Stay
Bye-bye.
well.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay,
Goodbye.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.